Hey guys, welcome to another video. This one's a bit different. It's gonna be kind of like a tier list video, but I'm gonna be ranking it a little bit differently to how would this work physically? Like would the Pokemon work as a concept? So this would be like Earth suitable, like this could live among man. This one could be like there's one small thing that's off. B could be, you know, that it feels right, but it's wrong. Like it felt like it could, but it couldn't. C, of course, it's just gonna be a generally like a no, not really. And then D is like with a few fixes, s- with a few fixes, maybe, yeah. And then E is like not at all. Then F is like not alive. Or I guess in terms of this one would be like things that could live on Earth, or things that could live physically. So this one would be like not physically possible. Yeah. So starting off, we got a turtle with kind of a plant on its back. So turtles do sometimes have the moss or like a fungus growing on their shell. So I could see this one as being pretty possible. The fact that it's an actual plant and there's no actual shell, I don't know how likely that is to evolve is a concept. Also the fact that he's not really protected at all. Probably gonna be some kind of symbiotic relationship though, making it plausible. This guy, I'd say kind of the same situation. Flower's a little bit bigger. I don't know if it's protecting him any more than it was before. So there's that. We'll probably do the same for all three. They all kind of got the same situation going on. Um, so I feel like they could be very plausible. I think this is just like a mega evolution or something, or just a bigger version. I don't know. Yeah, all these guys kind of got that shell thing going on where I can see there's been several cases where plants, animals, smaller animals and larger animals, they get along. So I can see that being a thing. Lizard with fire on its tail, it's already like a no, not really there. Now, obviously, there's plenty of lizards that exist. Plenty of things that happen in nature, where they'll have kind of like this attribute, like maybe venom in their tail, maybe like it's always comes down to like venom or poison. You never really see anything making fire. If you know anything that can spit fire, let me know in the comments below because that seems pretty interesting to me. But I'm gonna say no, not really for these guys. You never really see anything really draconic like this. Now this is that's just a turtle. That is just a turtle. At the end of the day, that's a turtle. This is a turtle with a few little wing parts. Still exactly a turtle. It's a gun, right? I'm gonna say no, not really for this guy. This guy's honestly how it can be any kind of like shooting or dispelling of anything at that kind of speed. I mean, maybe if your turtle shits really hard, but I don't think that's gonna be a thing. This is a caterpillar. This is a cocoon for a caterpillar with eyes. That's a bit weird. This is a moth. It's a giant moth. Very possible. This is the same thing, and this is the same thing, even more giant. Maybe if it was a bit smaller though. I feel like, oxygen levels, the reason why bugs are so small now, they used to be big. Used to be a lot of big bugs. Now they're small, because they got tiny lungs or something. That's just caterpillar with thorns as defensive. I feel like it could totally happen in nature. In fact, if you know of any caterpillars or even worms or some kind of small thing like that with horns, let me know. You got little legs like a millipede. Like a cocoon with eyes. This is a fucking bee with drills for hands. Definitely not. I mean, it's only the drills, really. This one, it's got a few more drills. Um, yeah, it's got a few more drills. I feel like this one. I feel like I don't know about this category. I haven't really used it yet. I'm just gonna delete that row. Yeah, and we'll just B. Oh, let me capitalize it. B, C, D, and then F. Because F is usually at the bottom. Yes, we are kind of gonna do all the Pokemon, so this might be a longer video than I thought. Holy fuck! How many Pokemon are there? How many? Hold on, Alexa. How many Pokemon are there? Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you. It's crazy. 1025? 1025? It's wild. Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah, for sure. Thank you. Dismissed. Yep. You know, I got that one weird model for her where it's like the plus version. Well, my family got it. Anyways. It's a bit weird, but honestly, I can get used to it. 1025. Last time I checked, there was like 700 and something. I don't know how many generations ago that was, how many games ago that was. Last game I really played, I probably still on the DS. Like that's probably. Um, I have seen Sword and Shield. I've seen some things in that. The motorcycle one looks pretty weird. We'll get to that, I guess. Next up we have a pigeon. We have a looks like a hawk, a more colorful hawk. And this guy. Now blue isn't really a common color in nature, except on a very small scale, usually because it's like the microfibers or whatever. I don't know the science behind it. I just know blue is not a common color in nature. It can exist on creatures that evolve in water, because they learn to camouflage. However, usually for birds, I mean, you got blue jays, you got a lot of parrots. So I'm gonna say it's probably possible with birds. Um, right, we have the rat. It's a rat. We have a rat again. We have a meaner rat. We have a bigger rat. We have those capybaras. Same rat. This is like a chipmunk. And I'm gonna say that one's okay too. And then these are all just birds. This looks exactly, I don't know about you guys, this looks exactly to me like a dodo. I don't know if you guys are seeing that, but that existed. We have a snake. We have a cobra. This is okay. So, as far as these guys go, I think I sort of know kind of what their powers are. As we go down the list to the newer generations, I'm not going to know what their kind of types are or what their powers are. Okay? Now I know a rat with a stiff tail. Most tails they aren't stiff because you need to move around. As far as I know, Pikachu's tail doesn't like wiggle. Now he can like move it side to side, but oh, fucking sorry, my cat got his face stuck in an empty ham container. Hold on. Anyways, as far as I know, he doesn't wiggle his tail like a tail, he wiggles it's kind of like a cardboard, piece of cardboard. So I'm gonna say it's not very realistic in terms of how, a tail is meant to be used. But I'm gonna say no, not really. I don't think Pikachu, I don't know why there's two of a lot of these. I don't think Pikachu could make it. Um, this one looks mean. I'm gonna also move this category up because definitely if they didn't have fire on their tails, these two could exist. It's not only the tail thing with Pikachu either. It's definitely like um the whole electricity thing as well as the color. I don't know when the last time you've seen a mustard colored anything was. Um, but there's that. Now Raichu is a bit better because it's still got the thing, but it has a working tail. Its tail works. This one I don't know so much. This is great. That's just a fucking sand lizard. This one's blue. Snow lizard. This one has claws and more of a hedgehog back. Pretty realistic. This one, I'm not gonna lie, this one kind of looks a bit wonky. I don't know. This would go in the feels wrong category. It looks right, but feels wrong. I'm gonna say maybe with a few fixes. I feel like its claws are too big for how big it is as a creature. You'll notice a lot of things tend to have smaller claws than how big their hands are. Even sometimes their fingers, like cats, dogs, their claws will be smaller than their fingers. Obviously, there are a few differences, but usually their claws aren't absolutely giant. And I feel like that's pretty weird. This looks like it could happen. This one maybe a little less. Maybe if it was on all fours. This one, not really, not really. No. I'm also gonna delete this guy. For so far, we found only ones that work though as the thing. Like in some universe, like this is probably it's like a rhinoceros, still a rhinoceros, kind of like a stegosaurus thing going on. We've seen that happen in nature. Maybe the ears are a bit exaggerated. And again, this one where they're standing, not really, not really. I mean, if this was on all fours, maybe. So with a few fixes, these could definitely happen. This I don't think I could see this being anything near on Earth. Just because monkeys are very nimble because they don't have a lot of armor. So far, we've seen things with armor or agility or things that can evade defensively, but you can't evolve to be fluffy. And then, like, I can assure you, they're not poisonous. They're not like they don't have any defense strategies. They're just like so consumable, you know. It's like if Kirby wasn't a massive demon that swallowed things whole, Kirby would be at the bottom of the food chain. But Kirby has a massive mouth and superpowers, so it's not at the bottom of the food chain. So I don't think it's possible for these guys to evolve in an Earth-like manner. Um, this is just with many tails. That's happened before in like genetic issues. This one's just blue. This one, I'd say genetic issues happen when tails multiply. That just seems like an extreme amount of tails. Well, how many tails is that? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. It's like nine tails. Um, there's five in the back and four coming out the side. I don't know where the other five are going, or if they're coming around the side. No, because you can see this one kind of starts here and it comes to the side, and then they have all these ones. So about nine tails on that. I feel like nine tails is way too many tails for anything, even if it's like a genetic thing that happens at birth. I don't think it's very possible. Two tails maybe. I mean, is there anything on Earth that has two tails? If you know, inform me. I think some snakes might because they have two of everything. Two wieners, two noses, 2 feet. But yeah, let me know. Next up, we have like an electrical one. I think this one's probably possible if you fix just what's going on here. I just gestured to all of it. This is gonna have the same argument as these guys. And we got bats. Yeah, bats. They happen. These ones, I think they're a bit too heavy looking. Living plants. There are some plants that are like estimated to be sentient in one way or another. So I see this as being possible, but I don't know if it would really be a realistic thing. But it can actually just be a plant. That's another thing too, is if they're not possible as a living creature, we can just say, oh, change one thing, it's a plant now. I feel like that could go for this one, this one, this one, this one. This is a crab with mushrooms. That happens. This is a crab that is mushroom. I feel like that's a little bit weird because it's soft all over. I mean, besides the bottom part. But you can't really go on your belly to protect yourself when the back is shaped like that. This is a gnat, just a giant gnat. I feel like that wouldn't work really, but I mean it's a gnat. This is a moth. We know moths, they work. Okay, so this one's kind of weird. It's kind of like very spectacle of what the bottom of a diglet looks like. Um, some people think it's just a tube. Some people think it's like a full out body, like it's a mole or something. Um, I think it's possible. I think if you just go with the fact that it has maybe like a centipede body underground. The fact that we don't know what's under it is one thing that really makes it like it could work, it could not work. It's very hard to tell. Although I'm looking at it again and I'm not seeing a mouth. So I'm gonna say maybe with a few fixes. This one can get the same treatment. This one can too, and this one that's really weird hair. I'm gonna say with a few fixes as well. Is that just a tall cat? It's looking the same as that one Pikachu. And I don't think cats could walk on all four on twos. This one, I can see it happening with maybe just again fixing the twos issue. And I don't know if that coin could necessarily be like a shell or a horn that evolves for some reason, maybe for dominance of some kind. And this just looks like a darker version of these guys. And you have just generally some cats, duck, an angrier duck. I could see that maybe being a little bit different. There's a monkey. It's a fat monkey, but we've seen fat monkeys before. Same thing here. This is just like a wolf tiger looking thing. I know they breathe fire, so maybe I guess you put them down here. Same thing with the Venonat. Um, yeah, totally works. This one's a bit more of a lion. It looks like it has some kind of horn. Put them there. All right, we have a tadpole, large tadpole, but it's a tadpole. We have I don't I don't think at all these guys. These guys don't make sense to me. How could they evolve? It looks like they have gloves on. I don't know what the color pattern could be for. I get this one. It's like, oh, but it's not the same color pattern. Yeah, but it's like a tadpole, you know. Usually, um, sometimes I feel like babies would have either a camouflage or even a target to protect each other, their mother, themselves. You know, I feel like that's very possible. But like once you're an independent creature, there's no reason to keep that pattern, and things do change over time. This looks like some kind of lizard guy. Now he has a spoon. We've seen raccoons have spoons. Very possible. And he's got two spoons. Watch out. I feel like he's a bit too pointy though. It's a bit too pointy. You know, usually things that are angular aren't very mobile, so they become angular and spiky as like a defensive thing. This guy looks like he could run or something. I don't know. I feel like it would either choose agility or um, defensiveness in terms of evolution. And then now he's floating the spoons. You can't float spoons. That's not physically possible. Is he floating the spoons anywhere in here? No. No, he's not. Okay, cool. Then we have a little dude, little blue dude. I mean, just looks like a baby or like a small child. Same thing with this big guy. This guy, I don't think is physical. It looks like he's got some kind of lava fists. And you can't have a liquid really be a physical thing. That's like a part of you, like a physical construct made of liquid, unless it's like just really hot rock. But then what's sustaining that and what's keeping it from damaging other parts of your body? What's heating that up, you know? And that's just four arms. This is a walking plant. Just make it a plant. Same thing with this. This one, that's based off a Venus flytrap. Maybe with a few fixes for this one, because eyes, kind of like this bright lips. Otherwise, it's pretty cool. That's just a squid. That's just a squid that looks more like a squid. This is a fucking, okay, one thing, it's a rock now. It's a rock now. It's a rock now. It's a rock now. This is a rock now. No. Fire pony. It's no longer on fire. That's something from My Little Pony. That looks adorable as hell. Fire horse, no longer on fire. Fucking Princess Celestia? Um, like a sloth looking turtle thing without a shell. I could see that happening like on Australia. Same thing with this one. Now this one has a shell and looks like it's got some kind of like a snail kind of shell going on. I can get behind that. And this one, the shell looks like it's kind of eating him. I feel like if we could make that not happen. This one, he's got like a shell on his arm. Still kind of the same thing. All right, living magnet. No longer living, just a magnet. Three living magnets. No longer living, just a magnet. A bird with a leak happens all the time. Bird with a bigger leak. I would say happens less often, but probably still happens. Bird with two heads. I've seen it. Bird with two heads again. Bird with three heads. I don't think I don't think that's as possible, just genetically. Seal. Yeah, believable. Seal, again, believable. Living slime, pile of slime, living slime, pile of slime, living slime, pile of slime, living slime, pile of slime. Shell with a thing in it. That happens all the time. Bigger shell with a scarier thing in it. Also happens all the time. Floating ball of gas. Now it's just some gas. Ghost looking orb guy. Not really. That guy, not so much either. This guy's kind of the same stitch as that guy. This guy just looks scarier. Pile of rocks. Pile of rocks. Looks like an anteater. I can get behind that. And this looks like some kind of Egyptian thing. Um, I mean, they drew them on the walls for a reason. Oh, they drew them on the walls for a reason. I'd say this would go in the feels right. It feels wrong, but looks earth, you know? Uh, I don't know. I feel like maybe with a few fixes that could go on. Because, like, the whole holding thing, this kind of like mouth structure, where do you eat? You know? That's just a crab. That's a very scary looking crab. Maybe not so much. This one's just a normal. This one, I've seen this crab. I've seen that crab. You have a ball with eyes, just a ball. 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 Eggs with eyes, just eggs. Tree with eyes, just a tree. Same thing. This guy wearing the skull of his mother. I know that lore. I know Cubone. I know this adorable little guy. I'm gonna say no to these guys because they have. maybe. But these guys right here, I can understand that. That's just a lizard wearing a skull. It works as armor. They could adapt to it. It could be, using tools. I can see that maybe evolving in 100, maybe 1,000 years. This guy, it's just like if the legs had a body, or if legs had a head. Let's say one small thing. This is just a human boxer in a costume. This guy has a devious tongue. If we could fix some of this mushy design and make him more fit for actual like nature uses, yeah. A gaseous rock? Yep, that's just a gaseous rock. Just he's not alive. What do you mean? Are those top hats? What? No. Oh, here we go. I love this guy, but he's a rhinoceros. So that works out great. Just a little bit more scaly, something you'd see in a dinosaur age. On two legs. Just put 'em on fours. You don't need to, I mean, they do have a long tail. That is true. But like, how long have you seen a cat stand on two legs for, They have long tails. But their tail's supposed to be heavy, but then you have to like kind of counter like how heavy would their body be compared to their tail? Because their tail really offset all that balance? No, I think it need to be a little bit longer. Carries their eggs in a pouch, kangaroo. Bright pink and soft, so easy to eat. Great with these guys. Tangle of what even is this? Like yarn? Just ball of yarn. This guy's just a kangaroo, but a bit tougher. I can see that happening. This one is just the child is now out of the thing. Seahorse, that happens all the time. I know what seahorses are. A little bit cooler looking of a seahorse. Yeah, probably. Fish. Yeah. Fish. Yep. That's a fish. Oh, sorry. That's a fish. Another fish. And the same fish. Yep, happens. All right, starfish. Well, I mean, I don't know if they would really evolve that kind of metallic thing. Their whole point is that, they're usually unnoticed or they have not a lot of draw to them, I feel like in nature. Although a starfish with a shell kind of just on the center part, I can understand that. This one, I don't know what this one's doing, but honestly, same thing. This is just a creepy ass dude. This is probably just a less creepy dude, but I don't like it as much. All right, giant grasshopper with a horn and scissors for hands. Not really. I would say not really. This one, I don't see what's going on there. Electric dude, a bit fat, got like a tiger tail, big claws, nubby hands. Now, I don't understand the claws on the feet, but not the hands. Maybe it's needed in high elevation or like steep cliffs. I'm gonna say no. This one's another one of those fire situations. Goes with the Charmanders and stuff. Not Charmanders, with the dragon guys. This is just a giant rhinoceros beetle. I'd say just shrink it down to size and maybe fix that mouth. That mouth is horrendous. I don't know what's going on with that. This one flies. Fuck that. Just as a thing, a giant flying rhinoceros beetle with a mouth that looks like it has a billion teeth. Fuck you. And if that was a real thing in nature, I don't think so. I would leave Earth. I would depart. Three-tailed ox. Just give it one tail. This one's dark, and so are these ones. And they got some red and blue on them. That's a fish. That's a fish. Now, when it comes to this guy, we know sea serpents aren't tails and stuff like that, but it could have just been like seeing a tentacle or a whale come across the surface, and it's like, oh, there's a big snake over there. That's what I'm thinking. They were maybe in ancient myths, but honestly, I can see it happening in the right conditions. But I think one small thing is you'd have to make it smaller. I think sea serpents could happen if they were smaller. I feel like they're really exaggerated in films and history when it comes to those myths. This is kind of like a boat person. Yeah, I can see that. It's just a big turtle. It's just a big turtle. This guy can morph into any shape. We have nanobots that can kind of do that to a degree. I feel like they have to cling to a mold though, or each other. I don't think we're at this point where nanobots where they can make like physical objects yet. But nanobots are a thing, or I guess microbots. Not really nano, but really small ones. Like we use to implant certain things into blood cells. We use to fight off viruses in bodies. We use to, split cells. We use to kind of do cloning on a cellular level. I know we have micro things that can do that. This is a living organism that does it on command into anything, and it can even change color. Chameleons, they change color, but it's not really a controlled thing. Sometimes people say it's for camouflage, but it's more so mood based, and also what they see around them. So the camouflage is not really perfect. Um, I'm gonna say it's not really possible. This is just like a dog looking thing. I can see that happening. Yep, this one's evil. I don't know what these red things mean. I'm just gonna put them out of here. So Vaporeon. In terms of human Pokemon breeding, Vaporeon's actually the most. Anyways, Vaporeon, I can see maybe like a sea dog. Maybe just make it like not a sea dog. Like it can probably exist as like a seal looking thing. Um, yeah, maybe I don't know. And then you got electric one. I can see electric being mostly because static electricity can be a thing, especially when you're fluffy like that. Fire is gonna be a no-no. This guy looks like a robot. I don't know if it would be an animal or if it would be man-made, but that could happen. These guys have existed at a point in history. This one just looks a bit more terrifying. That's probably how they look like instead of being this cute. I think these are based off of real fossils, not so much this guy. I don't know what the whole Pokemon thing is with Cinderfer hands, but it's not going to be happening. Pterodactyls, those happened on Earth, but I mean like today wise, not really. Unless they're much smaller. This guy's got spikes all over. Those aren't good for flying. Uh, then you have a big giant sleeping bear thing. Maybe, I don't know. Depends what his diet is. But usually you just find him sleeping anywhere. I think if he slept in places like caves, would be better. That's just it's a bird. Oh, I got my thing stuck. That's just a bird. That's just a bird. This is an electric bird again. Electricity. I know what I said about Pikachu, and I stand by it because he's not that fluffy. He seems pretty skinny kind of thing, or like maybe he's got sea lion skin or fur where it's like very compact. But I don't know why. If he's got a weakness to water, I don't know why you need fur like that. But when you're fluffy and fuzzy, I feel like you can convey static electricity a lot more. I don't know if this guy's fluffy or fuzzy, but considering it's a bird, I feel like his feathers could maybe move in a way where you can like do that kind of deliberate shocking. But I feel like if they tone that down a lot as well, it'd be more possible. And then of course Firebird, just make it a bird. Just one small thing, yeah. A super Firebird. Is this not a Firebird? My bad. This looks like just a normal bird. Yeah, Firebird, definitely not. Super Firebird. Probably not possible. It's got fire for wings. I don't think that'll work. Again, sea serpents I feel like are totally plausible in real life. I don't know, like eels exist, eels are pretty cool. But they just need to be on a smaller scale. So not Gyarados. These guys even are a little bit on the bigger end, I would say. At least this guy is. I'm not sure what the size canonically this guy is. This is just a dragon. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, put him with the. Uh, I mean, I could put him with this pterodactyl here, the spiny one, because I feel like dragons could have existed at one point in time. In the European dragon sense. I don't know if Chinese dragons necessarily work out because they don't really have any kind of way of staying up there, any kind of lift. They kind of just like wiggle through the air. But this guy, he's got really small wings. Maybe make the wings a bit bigger, more proportionate to his size. Maybe make him a bit lighter. His bones could be hollow. I don't know. All the nature's tricks to make things fly. This guy just looks like a person, but like mutated. So I'm gonna say with a few fixes, he could probably exist. This one's kind of in the same boat. This one too. This one just looks like a fetus. All right, this guy. I seen a short or a TikTok where this guy was like chopped up and prepared for dinner. Um, it was a little unsettling, but honestly, I was pulled in by the abstract kind of concept of it. But it's just kind of cool. I like this. It's like a little guy. I feel like that could exist in a way if it wasn't completely like a vegetable anatomically. Um, I feel like that could happen. They're like I don't know what it would be. Kind of just looks like a blob with legs. Think they're getting bored. Now, with a few small changes like this guy, with one change, just take the leaves away. That's happened before. But dinosaurs they had the long necks, so you just take away the flower looking thing. That could work out. Cynical, this cutie, this adorable little cutie. You have fire in your back. Otherwise, like you're fine, dude. This one looks like some kind of prairie dog. This one just looks way too angry. I feel like if we could tone that down and get depend on what kind of creature this is supposed to be. And then this one's got that weird thing going on. It's a little baby crocodile. That happens. I know those guys. This one's one that kind of walks on two legs, but he's got like a nice wide base at the bottom. I feel like he's fierce enough looking to where he could just be a crocodile. This one, not so much. This one's on two legs all the time. I know these guys are too, but they're small enough and they got a wide enough base for it. This guy, I think, is gonna probably go down to like here. I feel like with a few fixes, he could integrate into society. Let's look at Tanuki, or like a squirrel, flying squirrel. It's a big tail. I feel like if we shrink that tail down a little bit, maybe not so dependent on it, it'd be fine. This is just a prairie dog. I mean, it's called a ferret, right? An owl. We fix up the eyes and the 1 foot thing. I see that can be a very big evolutional caveat. And we got an owl with 2 legs. Ladybug. I think it's a bit bigger than a ladybug, but it's fine. Now, I like the design of this one. It kind of looks like it's got like a suit on. Um, so maybe it has like an exoskeleton. I know it's got multiple arms. Blood bugs do that. I just don't know about the whole looking like that with the 2 feet. I feel like bugs usually want to be on more feet, especially when their shell is the defensive part back here. I'm gonna say with the one small change, like you just make it more bug-like. That's a little spider. Hello, spider. That's a big old spider with a horn. Maybe chill with the fucking horn. This is a big bat. 4 sets of wings. It's happened before. I feel like we could make it a little bit smaller though. This is like what's that fish? The anglerfish or something like that. Doesn't look as predatorial though. So maybe not. A few fixes maybe. This one seems more like it'd be fit for that kind of environment. I can see this happening. Maybe a little bit less colorful though. Like if you're trying to draw them away from your face so you can chop them and eat them, maybe don't make your face yellow or the back of your tail for that matter. This is a little version of Pikachu. I'll put them in the same category. This one can go with these guys. These guys. This is a thing popping out of an egg. It didn't leave its egg. I don't know what kind of creature it's supposed to be, but it can probably go there. Togepi's pretty cool. This I think is just a bigger version of whatever's happening there, like a bird that's kind of grown with an eggshell on its waist. I don't know if you're gonna get far with that or how fat you have to be to get that stuck on you. So with a few fixes, like just get rid of the egg. This is a kind of a comical little looking bird, but I feel like it could probably work. It's like an Angry Bird looking thing. And this guy, it looks like something you'd see on the Egyptian Hall, so maybe just make him more birdy, less persony. I'm actually gonna, yeah, put him down to here with a few fixes. This is a sheep with electricity. Again, when you have that much fluff, static electricity, you'll get shocks on your hands. Like I pet my dogs and my cats all the time. Love them. But you get shocked if you touch them too much, especially if you're doing the same spot for a long time. The static stuff is going to build up. It's going to get you. Just maybe tone it down a bit. And maybe no blue. I don't know why everything has to be bright pink or blue in this universe. This one's on 2 legs. That's a bit weird. I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, it's got like a rattlesnake thing going on, kind of like a giraffe thing. It looks very appetizing. If I'm a predator, I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking eat that thing. I don't think it can get by a few generations. This one's just kind of like weirdly fluffy about it. Living flower. It's just a flower now. Kind of like a mouse with a ball tail. I can see that happening. I think these guys are electric too. We can just stop that from happening. Also, the blue. Blue doesn't happen that often in nature. I don't know about you. If you go outside right now and look for blue, you'll find it on flowers, some bugs, and probably a lot of sea creatures. Because again, they're kind of want the sky above them, that creature's seen from below them. They want to disguise against that. So in shallow waters, maybe reefs, things where blue is a way of camouflage, like in water and stuff like that. That's going to be more common. Flowers, a lot of flowers are blue. At least I think a lot of flowers are blue. I know some flowers are blue. I don't know about a lot. And definitely some bugs are probably blue. But other than that, mammal-wise, lizard-wise, I don't know if you see much blue. Because I think what the reason being is because the needed texture for it on things is complex. So in order to like reflect blue, surfaces have to have a certain pattern. Like, because plants, they absorb every color but green, right? They absorb light. And so they have a surface that reflects green because they can't absorb it. That's why we see green. And that happens a lot with other things as well. So you got to think a lot of the things that are blue on this list are going to be a little bit lower because, and there's a lot of blue. If you look at it, there's a lot of blue in Pokemon. I don't know why. This is just a bunny looking thing. Again, too much blue though. It's going to knock him down. I'll put him with his buddy though. See, like, I can see this happening, but it wasn't so blue. That's just a living tree. Now it's just a tree. You have like a frog, but it's kind of looking like it's trying to put on a magic show. I'd say tone down the trying to please of it, make it more froggy. I don't know what this hair's purpose is or why it's like a hey look at me kind of thing in nature. Again, also bright colors. I guess it's the appeal because it's like it's a brand. But again, realistically, you're not gonna have so many bright things. Birds do it to attract mates. Birds can fly away in case something else that's not a mate gets attracted. They can be like, fuck you, and fly out of there. That's why they're pretty bright a lot of the time, you know? More of the time, though, you see wolves, bears, even, and these are predators. They're pretty dull colored. You see a lot of deer. They're a nice brown, sure, but they're not that bright, you know? Buffalo, pretty darkly colored. And these are just things I'm thinking off the top of my head. And obviously they're very big, usually prey animals that can take a beating or run away if they can, or they're in groups. Zebras, black and white. You know, I don't know. You just don't see that many like vibrant colors in nature when it comes to things that don't want to be eaten and that aren't venomous or poisonous. This is the thing that flies with leaves on its head. It's pink and mushy and it's got big ears. I don't know. I feel like if you do some things with it, it can definitely be possible. I just don't see it happening. Um, Again, living kind of lily pad looking thing. I feel like you do a few things that can definitely exist on Earth. This one, I don't know what's going on. It's like a pollen beast looking thing. I put it there too. Monkey with a hand on its tail. I think that's happened once or twice, but I don't know how common that is. But I feel like I've seen that. I've seen this happen somewhere. I feel like it's got to have happened somewhere. Again, floating, flying, like vegetation. What is up with these guys and flying vegetation? Just make it like a plant. Can we not just have plants? Do they have to be like sentient? Look at this, just flowy. That's just flowy. What's going on there? He's just a flower now. Giant dragonfly. He's just a dragonfly. Look, an axolotl thing. I've seen axolotls. This looks like it could probably be a thing. Axolotl, 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 la la la. This one's dark. Probably possible. I have no clue what this guy's supposed to be. A blue blob, a friendly blue blob, a wobbuffet is what he's called. I don't even know. I think he'd probably exist as a blob somewhere. I just don't know how realistic it'd be to see this thing exactly in nature. If you make him maybe more dull, maybe give him a way so he can propel better in water, I feel like he'd do great in water. It's a psychic cat, big ears, two tails for balance. Again, just kind of tone it down a bit. I feel like that could go exactly with like Blazion or whatever. Umbreon, same thing. Well, Umbreon's more kind of like though. I feel like we could just make minimal changes. Then we just have a crow with a hat looking thing. I've seen birds that look like they're wearing hats. Usually the top feathers or whatever are messed up, but I've seen it happen. It's not like completely out of the window crazy. And then this guy's got like a shell on his head. I don't know. I don't know. Because he's like this guy up here, right? He's like this guy. But I don't know how I feel. I feel like it's just a bit weird to see that. So it's got that weird thing going on. This looks like I think it's a ghost. These guys are obviously all physically not possible. Where are their organs? How big are they? And why do they spell out letters? So there's one for each letter, and it looks like there's one for exclamation point and question mark. Um, but that being that, I think that's where we'll stop this episode. This is Wobbuffet. Fett. What the fuck is that other guy? Anyway, I think we'll stop this episode here. We'll definitely continue this because I want to find out what is like the most Earth-like Pokemon. I'm still got a lot of lists to go through. So stick around. I'll see you guys in the next video. This one's already been going on for quite a while. Yeah, 38 minutes of just looking at Pokemon. So far, here's the list. You know, these guys you'd find on Earth. You know, these guys you could make like one change, and they'd be Earth suitable. I feel these guys you could mess with them a little bit, maybe more Earth-like. These guys, not really at all. I mean, like you can see there be a connection, but like you're not thinking no. You're like maybe in a different universe. These guys just not physically possible. I feel like I just don't know what these guys are enough. What this kind of flary thing is going on with some of these. So it's kind of just making me like question what that means. I don't know. I'm confused by it. Um, but yeah, on a scale of like how many things you have to fix until they're Earth-like, basically, is what this is. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. This has been Nico Pie. Hope my mic has been a little bit better this video. I've had it positioned a little bit differently. But yeah, I'll see you. Bye bye. Bye bye.